slaps, kicks, punches, and if need be, the tombstone pile driver. The Undertaker's signature move towards the end of his matches are all measures whose need arises from time to time. But in the world of diplomacy and foreign relations, such moves could spark wars. So countries usually convert these moves into scathing words and phrases to tell their counterparts that what they have done is wrong, shameful, and at times even criminal. Something similar has been done by French President Emmanuel Macron. France and the United States are allies, but under the leadership of Joe Biden, USA is getting alienated. Joe Biden has screwed up the Afghan withdrawal, and it's bad. Emmanuel Macron has just told Biden that what's happening is terrible and that the US has a moral responsibility to fix things now. In the scheme of physical moves, this phrase of Macron would qualify for a slap or perhaps even a punch. So we can say that Joe Biden has been slapped and punched around by Emmanuel Macron on the global stage, and that is embarrassing for any US president. Hi and welcome. This is TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm the founder, Atul Mishra, and in this video, I will tell you how Macron blasted Biden for leaving America's allies in Afghanistan and how the White House quietly tried to cover up this embarrassment. Let's begin. The desperate evacuation campaign of the United States of America and its allies from Afghanistan has dealt a huge dent in the image of Washington as the undisputed leader of the free and democratic world order. Currently, the US has been reduced to an object of global shame and ridicule due to Joe Biden's catastrophic and ill-thought surrender to the Taliban in Afghanistan. Leave alone evacuating friends of America and its allies, the United States is not even being able to successfully evacuate its own citizens from Afghanistan. And mind you, those who face the prospect of being left behind are people who have helped the US and its allies throughout the 20-year-long inconsequential war in Afghanistan. Had it not been for them, the US would have been chased out of the war-torn country much earlier. Now, when the Biden administration was supposed to ensure the safety of such people, it has simply shrugged off all responsibility. And the shameful conduct on the part of Biden administration has not gone down well with Washington's allies. Most recently, US ally France blasted Joe Biden for his mishandling of the situation in Afghanistan. During a phone call with Joe Biden, French President Emmanuel Macron did not hold back and gave a good dressing down to the Democrat president. France's official readout of the August 19 call highlighted how Macron had upbraided his US counterpart over his sudden withdrawal from Afghanistan. The French readout said, President Macron spoke with US President Joe Biden this evening about the situation in Afghanistan. He underscored the absolute need for swift, concrete coordination between the allies to ensure the evacuation of our citizens, Afghan men and women who worked for the allies and those who are in danger. The head of state emphasized our collective moral responsibility toward the Afghan men and women who need our protection and who share our values. We cannot abandon them. President Macron invoked the moral responsibility card and slapped Joe Biden resoundingly with it. Biden has left America's allies in Afghanistan to the wolves and hyenas, with scant regard for their contributions towards making a 20-year-long stay for the United States possible in Afghanistan. The French readout emphasized the parts where Macron scolded Biden for his handling of Afghanistan. The White House, however, went into damage control mode soon enough. Much like China, the White House chose to alter diplomatic readouts to suit its own narrative that the Afghan withdrawal is in fact a roaring success. The White House's readout of the call between Joe Biden and Emmanuel Macron on the crisis in Afghanistan leaves out the portion where the French president told Biden that the US and its allies have a moral responsibility to evacuate Afghan allies. The White House's version simply made no mention of a moral responsibility to evacuate Afghan allies, despite the part being the biggest highlight of the call between the two leaders. According to a report by Daily Mail, claims are abound which suggest that Macron and his government wanted his attempt at shaming Biden included purposely in the readout in a bid to display their disdain for the withdrawal from Afghanistan. The report added, the French readout of the call is a detour from Macron and Biden's diplomatic relationship. Meanwhile, the G7 nations are not impressed with Joe Biden's handling of Afghanistan. Leaders in Britain, France, Germany, and other nations are facing domestic outrage due to the glaring mishandling of the Afghanistan pullout by Joe Biden and his administration. The calling of an emergency G7 meeting is a sign that US allies are not happy. In the UK Parliament, Joe Biden was officially condemned and held in contempt for failing miserably to deal with the situation in Afghanistan. Japan was among the first countries to begin having discussions within the government with regards to the country's over-reliance on the United States and how, under the present administration, America cannot be trusted. France becomes only the latest country to blast the United States for its abject surrender to the Taliban. Surely, however, Macron and France will not be the last to humiliate Biden and rethink their alliance with the United States for as long as he is in the White House.